This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Monday, November the 17th of 2025, day 321st of the year, and only 44 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando,
Florida,
and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Yep, a lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend as we were doing our stuff here and doing our stuff there and all that other kind of fun, thingamajigs for sure. So anyways, with that being said, how you been? How are things? Fun times? Hopefully so. Anyways, another week before we burst because, next week, big week. Turkey, all that kind of fun stuff, but we'll get into that as we get closer. Anyways, let's talk real quick about what our show consists of. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of what we do. That's what we talk about. That's how we do our world around. No doubt about that. So with that being said, let me explain. I have some people that I have jump in, start talking about the things that are going on inside of the world. So don't worry about that because we'll make sure that they get their credit when their credit is due. Outside of that, we do that portion. You can interact with the show if you want to do that as we're going through it. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options of the things that can be done. And then that's it. We proceed forward from that particular point on. So with that being said, what do you want to do? Do you want to get the people in from feature story news? Because we can get the news started right away, and then we'll jump back and we'll start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. By the way, if you don't know this, our show is a video show. It's a radio show that does video and podcasting. So if you wanted to take a look at the visuals here of what's going on, you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says visual radio. If you don't want to do that, I'm not offended by any fashion, but we are available on safetyfm.com and radiobig.fm. We have apps available for both of them. We're also on iHeartRadio and Odyssey. So, and I think Live 365, there's several different ways that you can get a hold of us. So that's what's going on. So with that being said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring my friends in from Feature Story News, let them start talking right away about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the multi, and then we'll just go from there. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it. Let's do the news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Simon Gaitan. In Bangladesh, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death by a tribunal that found her guilty of committing crimes against humanity. She was put on trial in absentia and was found guilty of overseeing a deadly crackdown on protesters last July. In her first comment on the sentence awarded to her, Hasina has dismissed the trial against her as politically motivated. Neha Punya has more.
Soon after the verdict was announced by that special tribunal in the capital city of Dhaka, cheers broke out both inside and outside the court. Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death, with survivors of last year's crackdown welcoming the court's decision. Earlier, the exiled leader, who has been living in New Delhi since she fled Bangladesh, called the trial a farce by a quote, kangaroo court. She can challenge the verdict only if she returns to Bangladesh within 1 month. Hasina's son has told Indian media outlets that his mother is safe in India and has, quote, full security, suggesting she may not return to Dhaka immediately. India has so far refused to comment on what it plans to do with Bangladesh's extradition request. The two countries have a treaty that allows the extradition of those convicted of crimes, but there is a clause, experts say, that talks about fair treatment and safety, which could become grounds for India denying Bangladesh's request.
Donald Trump now says he wants the Jeffrey Epstein files released. The US president has changed his stance and wants Republicans to vote in favor of releasing them, saying his party has nothing to hide. It could force the Justice Department to release all files about the late sex offender. Donald Trump's name has been referenced in some files already made public, but in a frosty exchange with reporters before he boarded Air Force One, he claims that's not important.
Well, I don't want to talk about it because fake news like you're a terrible reporter, and fake news like you, they just keep bringing that up to deflect from the tremendous success of the Trump administration. So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection.
Both Hamas and the Israeli government have slammed elements of the US resolution on Gaza that will be voted on at the UN Security Council on Monday. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
The UN Security Council is expected to vote on a resolution endorsing the creation of an international stabilization force for Gaza and a transitional Palestinian government overseen by an international oversight body chaired by President Trump. On Sunday, Hamas called the resolution dangerous and an attempt to subject the Gaza Strip to international authority. The resolution also mentions a credible pathway to Palestinian statehood. That was added to help win the support of Arab and Muslim countries expected to contribute troops to the international force. On Sunday, Prime Minister Netanyahu vowed to continue working to prevent the creation of a Palestinian state. Blake Sifton, Tel Aviv.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at the current humanitarian situation in Gaza. With a very fragile peace in place, the world might think that everything is improving. But in fact, humanitarian aid organizations say they are still encountering massive obstacles and warning that food, clean water, medicine and hygiene products are again running low in the territory. The peace deal struck between Hamas and the Israelis is supposed to see as many as 600 trucks a day entering the Gaza Strip, but only a small percentage of those are being allowed in, according to Dr. James Smith, who has worked in Gaza's hospitals as an emergency physician.
If you follow the UN data, the UN back in December of 2023 established a mechanism for monitoring humanitarian aid. They have recorded that 17% of the trucks that should have entered Gaza between the 10th of October and the 15th of November actually entered. Truck drivers are being detained, injured and killed. They're not allowed to bring in the parts to fix the trucks that have been left in disrepair. And then, of course, Israel can readily say, oh, it's the UN's fault, or, oh, it's the Palestinians' fault.
Israeli officials say they have been limiting the amount of aid because Hamas has reneged on its agreement to return all the bodies of dead Israeli hostages still in Gaza. Israel says Hamas is lying when it claims the bodies are difficult to locate and is deliberately stonewalling the process. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories. In Bangladesh, exiled former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been sentenced to death by a tribunal that found her guilty of committing crimes against humanity. US President Trump has urged House Republicans to vote with Democrats to release remaining Epstein files, reversing his previous opposition, claiming he has nothing to hide. And both Hamas and the Israeli government have slammed elements of the US resolution on Gaza that will be voted on at the UN Security Council on Monday evening. That's the latest feature story news. Simon Gaitan reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Safety in a way never heard of before.
The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, we are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. Anyways, a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is the way that everything normally comes about, because how else would we do anything? I mean, let's just not lie about it whatsoever.
The time has come. Time to rise and shine. Rise and shine. It's a brand new week. Forget about the past. Today, you're gonna shake things up. The show starts now.
So I guess the 15 minutes we just did before this does not count. So now we got it down. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. And you know the countdown has already started because people are counting down to that day.
Christmas arrives in 38 days.
That can't be possible.
So yeah, buy that peppermint latte and don't feel guilty.
Yeah, you know how it is. Everybody's already talking about it. We haven't even made it yet to Thanksgiving, and people are already having the conversation about this. It makes it interesting to me in my brain on how the whole thing works, but I guess that's part of the skedaddle-addle of everything that should be going on inside of the multiverse. But we're here to get some stuff going through. So let's, where do we want to start off with serious, or do we kind of want to keep it little, kind of little light as we're going through some of the stuff? So, let's do this. Trump, let's see. Coincides defeat on the Epstein files as he ordered GOP to vote on releasing all materials while claiming there's nothing to hide. Let's see what it has to say here. The president has reserved himself on the Epstein files and now is telling the House Republicans to vote yes on releasing everything Epstein related. After days of pressure inside of his own party, he landed at Joint Base Andrews and said that the GOP should open the books because there's nothing to hide. He blasted the whole controversy as Democratic distraction from the Republican wins. He reminded everyone that Justice Department has already handed over tens of thousands of pages, and he pointed out that Democrat like Bill Clinton and Larry Summers as the ones who might really be sweating. He also insisted that nobody cared about Epstein when he was alive, and that the Democrats would use anything that they had before the landslide victory. But he doesn't mean his feuds are cooling off. He kept swinging at Republicans backing the bill, especially Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. He roasted Greene again, calling her a traitor, and threatened to back a 2026 challenger. Greene claims that she just wants transparency and has no idea what's in the documents, but the public deserves the answers. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things that people always hear to talk about until some more information comes about. I think we kind of already know that part. Duh. It's kind of way of the thing. Okay, so take a listen to this. Fred Goldman is finally inching closer to getting paid O.J. Simpson's estates nearly 30 years after winning a civil judgment that Simpson spent the rest of his life dodging. The executor of Simpson's estate, Malcolm Laverne, has officially accepted Goldman's creditor claim to about $58 million, a negotiated figure that roughly is about half of the $117 million that Goldman originally filed for. The $33 million judgment plus decades of interest. Laverne fought Goldman's math and haggled, and Goldman took the lower but enforceable number. The estate plans to pay what it can by auctioning off Simpson's remaining belongings. Those sometimes were reportedly that stolen and are being chased down. Laverne is even asking the court to grant Goldman some administrative fees for helping navigate the estate. A big shift from the earlier stance when he swore that he'd never pay the family a dime. Goldman claims the IRS claims are the only two that Laverne has accepted. The IRS gets priority. California, which wants about $637,000, will have to sue if it wants to see anything. This all stems from a 1994 murder of Nicole Kidman Simpson and Ron Goldman. Simpson was acquitted from a criminal court case back in 95, but the civil one found him liable in 97 and hit him with $33.5 million in damages, almost none which had ever been paid. After Simpson's death last year, the estate is finally being forced to deal with a debt that spent years outrunning. So there you go. Interesting times for sure. I remember watching that as a kid. I think I was still in high school when the whole rundown occurred, where, like the LA traffic stopped because people didn't know what the hell to do. Yeah, that would be the one that we're talking about for sure. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue talking. Let's get into some odd stories here for a moment. Right at Amherst Junior High in Ohio, I'm only mentioning this, there's a reason. Staff start stepping up for breakfast. A deer blasted through the cafeteria window as it was auditioning for an action movie. Security footage caught the deer was sprinting right before one launched itself into the glass, skidded through the cafeteria floor, and crashed into a table. And then sent everyone running like it owed them money. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The staff of Amherst police managed to corral the confused animal onto the stage and escorted to the back door. Breakfast resumed just with a little extra excitement and probably a side eye towards the windows just in case to make sure that nothing was going to happen. So think about that. The deer didn't crash the cafeteria. It graduated from it because there's no other way that would occur without, the world coming to a pause for a moment. I mean, think about that real quick. It graduated out of that thing because it ran like hell. So there you go. So take a listen to this because that we've been talking lotto over the last little bit. Someone in Newnan, Georgia, hit the financial equivalent of a lightning strike. The lone winning ticket was $900 million for the Mega Million jackpot, 8th largest in the game history. The ticket matched all numbers 1, 8, 11, 12, 57, and the Mega Ball was number 7, ending a 40 drawing dry streak, the longest Mega Million has ever seen. Let's see, the winner bought a quick pick at Publix at Highway 29, earning the store $50,000 bonus. The lucky human or extremely lucky office pool can choose the full jackpot paid annually over 30 years or a lump sum of $452.2 million before taxes. So there you go. 30 years. I used to think that it was 20. I guess I was like way off about that. Is what it sounds like. No doubt there whatsoever. Man, what an interesting time. Like, what would you do? What would be your option if you were playing this stuff and you won? Would you be interested in getting all the money at one time, or saying, I'm going to hold off and get paid over 30 years? 30 years is a long time. When you start thinking about the whole thing. So I don't know. It would be interesting. I don't think it would be any other than that. I mean, I look at it from the standpoint of 30 years. What the hell can happen in a 30-year time frame, opposed to it being, a little bit quicker, a little bit sooner, all that fun stuff. It just gets weird for me. A lot of stuff to talk about for sure, as we are in the middle of the whole thing. So right now, with this, you already knowing that next week is going to be a short week, at least mostly here in the U.S. for most people. How do you think that this week goes? I have a friend that they normally talk about, as they get ready for the week of Thanksgiving. Most of the times there's not a lot of stuff going on, period. So take a listen to this. Thanksgiving 2025 is turning into a high-price feast, with the average American dropping about $952 on food, drinks, travel, decorations, and all the other oops, we need a new appliance surprises. Hosting 8 people now runs about $22 a plate. The biggest bites come from $175 on food, $110 on drinks, $83 on decorations, $291 on random extras, and $293 in travel. And for those who aren't staying put, 63% say that they have gotten downright expensive, and 35% are slashing their budgets by an average of 41%. Cost cutters are shrinking guest lists, asking people to bring dishes, switching to cheaper brands, or ditching travel entirely. Millennials are lean minimalists. Gen Z keeps the menu but buys the bargain version, and Thanksgiving isn't even just a day anymore. 59% are now calling it a full season, which the average person attending 3 different gatherings. Gen Z even split the holidays between both sides of the family like they're running a diplomatic world tour. There's also a generational standoff on who pays. Boomers say that the host should foot the bill. Gen Z says that everyone should split it, and that's 45% who feel that the pressure of the host perfect. Thanksgiving, and suddenly gratitude is competing with stress. So I don't know. What do you think about this whole thing? I think, what did we do last year? I want to say last year, it was kind of a simple thing. I think we ended up saying, okay, screw it. We're not going anywhere. And we said, we're just going to buy stuff here. And then we will just stay at home. And I think we ended up ordering from a restaurant and had the food delivered. Or no, I went and picked it up now that I think about it. So yeah, that's what we did. I think it was definitely interesting. I don't remember who all showed up. There were some people that showed up too. But yeah, I just got to the point that I was like, do I really want to continue traveling all the time? It's not about complaining, and it's not about the traveling thing. It's just that, when you get up this early every morning to do this stuff, it's kind of get to one of those points that I'm just like, okay, what are we doing today? Because this is going to be the fun run when it's all said and done. So there you go. I know. A lot of complaining is what it sounds like to me, but whatever. So let's talk about this because, everybody loves this stuff that happens on the weekend.
Christmas arrives in 38.
Nope. Nobody wants to talk about Christmas that arrives in 38 days. I think I definitely pressed the wrong button there.
The top spot at the box office this weekend. At the box office. The box office roundup.
The weekend box office.
At the box office this weekend.
Okay, so let's talk about the box office because some people will care about that information. At number 10, Begonia with $1.6 million. At number 9 was Chainsaw Man with $1.6 million as well. At number 8, Sarah's Oil, $2.3 million. At number 7, Keeper with $2.5 million. At number 6, Numrug with $2.6 million. At number 5 was Black Phone with $2.7 million. At number 4, Regretting You with $4 million. At number 3 was Predator Badlands, which I was kind of even shocked that it still was kind of in the top. But hey, apparently last weekend was a big deal. What else? At number 2, so here's where it got kind of weird. Because you kind of heard a lot about both of these movies, with one being projected to go significantly higher, and it did not. Running Man came in at number 2 with $17 million. And Jesse Eisberg's Now You See Me, Now You Don't hit the number 1 spot in North America with $21.3 million. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we look at it and go, okay, this is where we're at. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some news of the weird because that is kind of what we do around here. We talk about all the odd stuff that we can find. Strange football moment. Troopers clashes with players at a South Carolina versus Texas A&M game. Things got weird off the field after Gamecocks receiver Nick Harbor hauled into a long touchdown, and he jogged into a tunnel looking like that he tweaked something. A few teammates followed the normal stuff, but on their way back, a Texas state trooper stepped between Harbor and another player and shouldered into them and then spun around and yelled at Harbor like he had just stolen his lunch. Fans recorded it, of course. The videos went everywhere, and Texas A&M police stepped in fast. The trooper was sent home early and stripped of game day assignment. DPS says that the inspector general is now digging into exactly what set him off. Oh, and South Carolina was up 27-3 when this all happened. But A&M still stormed back to win 31-30. Football chaos start to finish. You know how it goes. So Nick Harper scored a touchdown and a personal foul that he didn't even commit. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. Take a listen to this one because this one gets kind of interesting. A Pennsylvania man is recovering after a bad doggo moment turned into an accidental shooting. The police say that the 53-year-old from Shillington was cleaning when his shotgun Tuesday night, and it set it off on his bed. When he sat down, one of the dogs jumped up and managed to trigger the gun. The blast hit the man in the lower back. Cops say it's unclear the dog ball had got caught in the trigger if the gun malfunctioned, but either way, the safety was off. The timing was terrible. Paramedics rushed him into the Reading Hospital where he underwent emergency surgery and will need at least one more. He is expected to survive. Police ruled an accidental, but reminded everyone the golden rule: every firearm should be treated like it's loaded, especially when you got energetic pets. I guess that's one way to look at it. So when your dog says he wants to play fetch and he doesn't mean it with a 12 gauge. So there you go. some stuff to talk about as we are hanging. Okay, let's take a listen to this one. A city in Oklahoma is letting people pay off traffic tickets and overdue library fines with canine goods. Chickasha Municipal Court and Public Library are both running food for fines programs through November and December. Each non-perishable food item turns into a knock $10 off municipal court fine, up to $100. It sounds like, and even with people that with warrants can participate without worrying about getting hauled in. Last year, 30 people donated enough food to wipe out over $2,800 in fines. The library version runs all December. Any amount wipes out the overdue or returned books and unlocks the account that unlocks after a $6 fine. Lost and damaged books don't qualify, though. All donations goes to the Chickasaw Emergency Food Pantry. So, I mean, I guess it's for a good cause. But, man, does that get weird quick when it's all said and done. Okay, take a listen to this. A Russian bailiff official revealed that one of his wildest child support dodging schemes he's ever seen. A local man legally changed his entire name, first and last, and patronymic once a year, thinking that it would erase all of his child support debt. After a year under a new name, he switched it back to start the cycle again. The stunt didn't work. Registry officials automatically notify bailiffs of name changes, so debt followed him no matter what alias he cooked up. Officials say that this isn't even the worst excuse that they've ever heard. Some locals fake phobias to avoid home visits, including one man claimed agoraphobia, which is that only for bailiffs to discover that he owned 2 apartments, one already in foreclosure list. So there you go. Imagine thinking child support works like clearing your browser history. Yeah. Guess that's one way to look at it for sure. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do this? It is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So I have to tell you, I have a hard time sometimes when it comes to dealing with a lot of weird stuff that you get to see on LinkedIn. And the reason that I'm mentioning this, because I don't understand where people start going into this sound of the weird, where it becomes this whole thing of, you need to follow me because I am a subject matter expert, or I will tell you some level of stuff that's going on that we're doing as a company that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So a few days ago, I'm hanging out on LinkedIn and I'm taking a look at all the stuff that's being offered out there because, you know, you want to stay concurrent with classes and stuff. And I ran into one that I thought was kind of hilarious. It's a 5-day practitioner course that's coming up. And you get to learn about human and organizational performance. Not bad. I thought it was great. Thought it was a great idea. You know, you go out there, you kind of learn some of the stuff that's going on, and not a problem whatsoever. So they're gonna offer a course. You can come. The 5-day course has what is HOP, understanding human error, how to manage it, securing leadership buy-in, which I don't even know how you secure that, but okay, still learning that one myself. Creating a HOP culture, introducing investigation through a HOP lens, introducing operational learning teams, operationalization, and implementation plans. So all kinds of fun stuff going on in there. Not a problem. Hey, you want to have a course, 5 days. I always tell people anything, 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, if you're not becoming an expert, if somebody gives you a certificate saying that you understand that stuff, probably difficult. So not an issue. So I continue going through, this promotional piece of what exactly they do and what they're offering. So some good stuff there. But I start going through and it says, all this content comes from years of personal implementation and helping organizations implemented. And then it says the company names has been working with organizations for over 8 years to build sustainable implementation and strategies across multiple industries. Not a problem. Cool. But I was like, 8 years? 8 years is what you've been doing, teaching this. But then when I go look up the company and try to find out everything about it, the company has only existed for less than 3 years. And so I started checking. And so then I looked and I noticed that this company, they had a CEO and then they had another CEO where that CEO was from another company. So I'm trying to figure out, are they taking years of the CEO and this is what makes it 8 years? Because here's the problem. It's not a problem about being a practitioner. Hey, teach whatever you can to other people. But when you start telling me that I can learn all of this stuff in 5 days, and then you tell me you've been teaching for 8 years, or this company has been teaching for 8 years, doing all this stuff, how to implement it, but you have been around less than 3, it's going to make me question a lot of stuff in regards of what's going on. So I look at it and I go, what makes the most logical sense here? So if you see this, are you going to start questioning the 5-day practitioner course in regards of what it teaches? Will you be questioning some of the other stuff as well? And that's the problem with a lot of the stuff that we run into. And let me explain. I'm not picking on the company. I understand that they're in the business of selling. But when you have something that's being implemented and you have a question that makes you wonder about stuff, you're probably going to run into questions about other stuff, because if this doesn't make sense, this other part's not going to make sense either. So this is the stuff that I run into, and I look at it and I go, what is going to be the most logical thing to do when it's all said and done? Because if you question stuff about that starting off, when you bring this back to your organization, how comfortable would you feel? Or if you were mentioning to this organization, meaning the place that you work at, how comfortable would you feel about, hey, can I go to X course? But you've already had some questions about what's going on. Listen, I'm not saying one resource is better than the other, because let's not get confused here. But I look at it from the standpoint of, we have to start looking at some of this stuff and go, what makes the most logical sense when you're getting into it? Because when it's all said and done, you don't want someone to question the most minute thing if you're trying to implement something new inside of your organization. My question to you is this: does it make sense what I'm saying, or am I just looking way too hard into some of the oddest things?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
This
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, here we are, 44 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. So this right here that's playing, this one's called Can't Tune. Seriously, it really is. So there you go. Not available anywhere yet, but we'll get to that at some point in life. Because that's how it goes. So what do you think? How are things? Matter of fact, let me just do this part, and then we'll go. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. We've been doing all this weird stuff in-house. And I don't mean weird in a bad way. I mean weird in a good way. So, yeah. There you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about what the hell's going on inside of this multiverse of ours, because that's kind of the thing that we do around here. No doubt about that. So I guess I should talk real quick about one of the most important things that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Our Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. So I'm going to tell you, you can go there and change everything for you. No doubt about that. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Before I forget, I didn't talk any more about this last week, but let's talk about it. January the 28th through the 29th, want to hold that date, especially you're out in the Vancouver area. We're going to be talking some hop into action stuff. No doubt about that. Save those dates, 28th and 29th. I will probably have the rundown of the scoop and the detail at the end of the week. I would imagine by then, but there you go. So, yep, hop into action Vancouver. If you're out in the Canada area, you know, we might want to hang out, talk about it next year, 28th, 29th of January. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just kind of what we do around here. Maybe we should do this little seg that we're calling Things We've Learned from Judge Judy.
And now, Things I've Learned from Judge Judy.
All rise.
But if you have an inconsiderate neighbor who you think is crazy, then what you don't do is you don't try to teach a pig to sing. It doesn't work and it annoys the pig.
That's it for Things I've Learned from Judge Judy.
Okay, so don't teach a pig to sing. I guess that's the stuff that we need to learn right away as we are talking. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Just some stuff to talk about, I guess, is when it's all said and done. Just kind of a weird one when it's, you know, when you go through the things as we are talking. Okay, so let's talk about this because I think that we need to. Car conversations can make relationships stronger. Do you know this? Couples who talk deeper in the car because there's no escape route, no storming out, no dramatic exits, just seat belts and straight talk. It forces connection in a weirdly powerful way. You know, I have to tell you, luckily enough, my wife doesn't really listen to any of these shows that I do. So I tell you that is the time in my life that she will read me articles of stuff that she's interested in, and there's no escaping it whatsoever. And they're not short articles normally. They're long articles. Normally my oldest daughter will start looking at me through the mirror, the rear view mirror, and we looking at each other in a weird way going, no one's escaping this. But, you know, I don't think my wife's figured this out yet, but it's okay. It's kind of just a weird time because you just don't know what to do. It's like, are you kind of rude and go, hey, can we talk about this later? Because you know there's not going to be a later. It's just one of those weird things that it's like, it's a trap! But there's not much you can do about it when it's all said and done. I mean, I don't know. It just gets weird. It gets weird. Okay, so take a listen to this because this is what happens. Men have a silent stress point, and they never talk about it. So let's talk about it right now. Most men don't realize that they carry their stress in one of the very specific place, their jawline. Dental experts say that men who clench their teeth more than women during these moments, work pressure, traffic, bills, fantasy football. I mean, I guess that's a thing. And it leads to headaches, neck pain, and even cracked molars. Wild fact, some men grind their teeth so hard at night that their partners hear it before the alarm clock. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one way to think about it. So do you clench your jaw when you're pissed? Some people do. I don't. I don't think I do. But who knows? I mean, I guess somebody would have to be paying attention if I am or not. Anyways, let's talk about something a little bit more positive in our life. Let's bring some John Small in and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Glenn. Alexander Graham Bell said, "Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus." This is great. Think about that. A little bit of sunlight can feel good, especially this time of year. But if you focus that light with a magnifying glass, you can start a fire. And if you focus your efforts, you can light a little fire under your whole company in a good way. Get people fired up for the coming year. Find a way to focus everyone on the team to join forces to work together. When you have a unified voice and you all work together, it's absolutely amazing what you can accomplish. Go ahead, try it.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Cambodia evacuates border village amid rising tensions with Thailand.
Authorities in Cambodia have ordered the evacuation of hundreds of residents from a village along the disputed border with Thailand following a fatal shooting incident between the two nations. The move aims to prevent further violence in the area. Cambodian officials reported the shooting occurred late yesterday, resulting in the death of one resident and heightening fears of escalation, Joseph Eckerson reporting.
A truck crashes into a South Korean market, killing 2 and injuring 18.
Emergency responders in South Korea rushed to an outdoor market today where a truck plowed into pedestrians, leaving a scene of chaos. Officials confirmed the incident happened during peak hours in a busy district. The driver, believed to have lost control due to mechanical failure, struck shoppers and vendors before the vehicle stopped. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Bangladesh faces nationwide disruptions as opposition party calls for lockdown, protesting former leader's trial.
Protests have brought much of Bangladesh to a standstill today as the opposition Awami League demands a halt to proceedings against ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Schools, colleges and transportation networks report widespread closures across the country. The lockdown aims to pressure the government over what the party calls an unfair trial on corruption charges, Chris Anderson reporting.
On Wednesday, President Trump signed bill ending record 43-day government shutdown.
The U.S. government reopens after President Donald Trump signed legislation that ends the longest shutdown in American history. The measure funds operations through January without resolving key disputes. Federal workers who went without paychecks during the impasse will receive back pay soon, according to the bill's provisions. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Judge rejects plea deal for funeral home owners accused of hiding nearly 190 decaying bodies.
A federal judge today denied a plea agreement for a Colorado couple running a funeral home where authorities discovered almost 190 improperly stored bodies. The owners face charges of fraud and mishandling remains. Prosecutors detailed how the Halfords allegedly gave families fake ashes while dumping bodies in a rural area, Kevin Sanders reporting.
Epstein files release gains momentum with discharge petition securing final House vote signature.
Efforts to unseal more documents related to Jeffrey Epstein advanced today as a discharge petition in the House obtained its last needed signature. The move forces a vote on compelling the Justice Department to release additional materials. Lawmakers from both parties support transparency in the case of the convicted sex offender who died in custody, Jessica Oakley reporting.
FAA grounds an aircraft fleet temporarily after deadly UPS crash in Kentucky.
The Federal Aviation Administration issued a grounding order today for all MD-11 planes following a fatal UPS cargo crash in Kentucky that killed the crew. The action affects operations at major hubs until safety reviews conclude. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large Gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench?
Radio.
Oh, yes, always a little stinchy over here as we are hanging out and doing our thing. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, back in this lovely day on 2015. Charlie Sheen confirms that he is HIV positive. But also in 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger is inaugurated as the California governor. And in 1993, the U.S. Congress votes for NAFTA. So there you go. If you're looking at some celebrity birthdays for today, let's talk about this. Martin Scorsese turns 83, Lauren Hutton 82, Lorne Michaels 81, Danny DeVito 81, RuPaul 65, Dylan Walsh 62, Rachel McAdams turns 47, Isaac Hansen 45, and Reed Perry turns 37 today. So there you go. Also, in some other stuff, let's talk about some things you ought to know. Here are Friday night's Mega Million number jackpot was $980 million, 1, 8, 11, 12, 57, and the Mega Ball was 7. Since there was a jackpot winner, tomorrow's jackpot will drop to $50 million, just FYI. Also, here are Saturday's winning Powerball numbers. Jackpot was $546 million, 6, 7, 12, 47, 53. Powerball was 21. Power Play was 4. And since there was no jackpot winner, it will now climb to $570 million. What else do we have going on? Things you ought to know. The U.S. military on Saturday carried out its 21st strike in the recent weeks on vessels that it claims are transporting narcotics, killing 3 people in the Eastern Pacific, according to U.S. Southern Command. The incident took place in international waters and targeted the boat linked to officials described as designated terrorist organizations. Authorities didn't name the group or specify the vessel's origins. Video shared on Southcom indicated that the boat was traveling along well-known drug trafficking route. Also, in some other news, the FAA is shutting down a flight reduction emergency order after 6 a.m. ET, which will be Eastern time this morning. The order was the reason you saw flights getting slashed and scheduled meetings down across the 40 major airports since November the 7th. They trimmed the operation by 4%, keeping exhausted air traffic controllers from face planting on the job during the record-long government shutdown. Now the shutdown is over and staffing has finally leveled out. The agency says that they are stable enough to lift the cuts. So there you go. Some stuff to think about for sure. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to RadioBig.fm exclusively for the next 2 hours or so. If you want to come and hang out with me, you're more than welcome on doing that. We'll talk about the world of music, we'll talk about the world of entertainment, and we'll do all that stuff together. If you don't want to go over there, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here on Safety FM and hang with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Some options there for you, depending on what you want to do. That is for sure. So outside of that, that's going to sum up our time together. I do appreciate you hanging out. Let me give you a couple of things real quick. If you need some words of wisdom for today, try this. Sometimes your joy isn't the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of joy. If you need some advice for today, run your shower on hot with baking soda on the floor. Act like it's a mini steam cleaner in the grout. So there you go. Some stuff to think about. And if you need a day of the year to celebrate, it's National Butter Day today. So there you go. That's it. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Maybe
fire.